Aaron asked America.
Welcome to Aaron Ask America. On today's episode, we have a wonderful woman of God that I know from church. Her name is Melissa. She fits a description of what I'm looking for. Like, I know of her, but I don't know anything about her. So this is going to be a great podcast. And Melissa, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So first things first, got to get it out of the way. Who's your favorite superhero and why is it Batman?
Probably Captain America.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Why?
Just what he stands for. He's just good and, stands for doing the right thing. And, just old-fashioned good America.
Yeah, back in the day, like open doors for women, respectful, all that kind of
Right,
stuff.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is your knowledge of Captain America just purely like cinema based?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, he's just as awesome in the comic books as he is on screen. There is a hilarious story because, we don't technically really truly know each other. So, you could tell, huge nerd, right?
Yeah.
So, like, when Chris Evans was cast as Superman, I lost my mind. I was like, Captain America. I was like, I can't believe that they cast this guy because when you look at Chris Evans' field of work beforehand, he was just he played the same character in every single role, and I was like, I can't believe that they cast this guy as Captain America. And I very much ate it whenever I went to the theater and saw Captain America, like midnight showing. I was like, he is a Captain America. He did such a good job.
Yeah.
And then now that we're past Endgame, and I can't, because they're talking about rebooting everything. I can't see another person playing Captain America.
Yeah.
It'll be wild to see somebody do that.
Right.
So, but as far as Captain America goes, that kind of plays into kind of what we wanted to talk about here, kind of at the beginning. So you reached out to me because you have a business here in DFW that that kind of deals with superheroes as well. Do you not?
So I started the princess. Mine's more like the princess girl side, and so I have princess characters, that dress up and go and do birthday parties for kids, or entertainment for city events or things like that, whatever comes up. And then I have a friend who started the superhero side, and so we kind of partner together, and she handles the guys and I handle the girls, and we cross over sometimes if there's I need a prince character or she needs a girl to go with her superhero. So yeah, we definitely are nerds also.
Yeah. So when the girls or guys go to these birthday parties, like what are the general age range of the kids you're going to?
Like the perfect probably age range is like 4 to 6, 4 to 5-ish. Once they hit 6, 7, they start 6, 7.
Yeah, there you go.
Once they hit that age.
That's you, Dexter. It's not us. Sorry.
That's okay. I did it to myself. I walked right into it.
I wouldn't have called you out on it, but you did.
Yeah, I have a 7th grader, so. But yeah, we. I don't even know what I was saying.
The average age of the kid.
Yeah. So once they hit about 7, they start saying like, "Are you wearing a wig?" And they start having doubts. Like the magic is starting to fade a little bit. So target age is probably 3 to 5 maybe.
So do you have? I know you do the princess side, but of course we just talked about nerd stuff. Do y'all have a Spider-Man?
Yes.
Yes.
He's the most popular one.
Okay. See, I was going to ask that. So does he do flips?
We have some performers who can do flips and some who can't. So
do you tell them to stay away from that? Because
they're independent contractors, so whatever they want to do, that's their prerogative.
I'm in the world of TikTok, so I've seen some Spider-Man at birthday parties that do flips, and it doesn't turn out good for them. So I'm like, so when you
we have a few guys that'll just they'll just go for it, but yeah, we don't tell them to do
don't
that.
do flip.
It's just,
But so I started to ask you at the beginning, with your favorite superhero, right? So let's change that question because you do the princess side. Who is your favorite princess and why?
Okay, so I have different favorites for different reasons. So my favorite princess movie is probably Tangled because I love the music. I love Rapunzel and the character and all of that. But princess character is probably Tiana, because I love that she's hardworking and she, she wasn't just waiting for fairy godmother to come grant her wishes. Like she came and, she did all the hard work and pushed and got what she wanted. And
So
I love that.
Forgive me.
Oh, Princess and the Frog.
Oh, okay.
I could tell what you were going to ask.
Yeah, I was like, forgive me. Like if you said the name of the movie, then I
Yes.
can see,
Yes.
I can see
Yeah.
I can see the princess. Like I know the timeless ones like Snow White, stuff like that. So if you had said Snow White, I've been like, okay, yeah. But when you said her name, because I remember I think that movie came out like late 90s, I think, early 2000s
Maybe, yeah.
maybe. And that was when I was way past kind of going and
Right.
seeing Disney movies outside of the
Right.
Toy Stories. But so she's your favorite because hardworking
Yes,
and
yeah.
yeah. Where does Ariel rank on you, or do you
I
have
like playing Ariel is very fun because she's kind of ditzy and just fun and easy to play. But and she's, as a kid, she was one of my favorites for sure. Every little girl likes to pretend to be a mermaid. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I, growing up, like the Little Mermaid was probably my favorite, like Disney princess movie, just because of Ursula.
Okay.
Right, because she
Yeah.
was kind of like the ultimate
Yeah.
villain, right? She was scary, and then Ariel couldn't talk for a little bit. So like when you first watch the movie, you're like, how's she going to accomplish this,
Right.
right? So you're really
It's a
really
good
into
story,
it,
yeah.
and then once you see, you're like, okay, fine, I see how it is. Especially the was it "Kiss the Girl" song that is like, as a boy, that is like your
Right.
least favorite song.
Yeah, that's when you turn it off.
That's where you're like, oh, come on, where's Aladdin at? So like how many, I know you said they're independent contractors, so how many different princesses do you actually like have at your disposal?
Performers,
Yeah.
like how many girls? Probably. I usually have a team of around 20 to 30. Maybe,
Oh, wow, okay.
Because they all, have crazy schedules.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are in shows sometimes. Like they get cast in a show and they can't do parties for a month, or, or they just, a lot of them have other jobs too, so they just do parties whenever they can. So
Do you have like a Discord or like a text stream where you're like, I need an Ariel this weekend, who first one that
Yeah.
says yes gets it?
So we use an app where we, share the calendar with everybody. And when a customer requests a princess, we put it out there and whoever wants the party requests it. And then I go and look at it and see like, okay, which person do I think, looks the most like the character? Which one do I feel like plays that character the most? Maybe they haven't had a party in a couple weeks and I want to make sure they get one.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into how I choose, which performer gets the party. But
So what is the general age range of your performers?
usually from like age 16 to like, I don't know. I've got some girls that are maybe like 25. Yeah,
So
it's kind of a range.
which age group is harder to deal with, the younger ones or the older ones?
Um,
Or don't answer. Oh wait, don't answer
Yeah,
the question.
right.
Don't answer the question.
It's really
Okay.
just
Yeah,
case
so-
by case.
What's the most amount of princesses you can have at a party?
Well, we do. I mean, it's up to the customer's budget. Like
Right,
whatever
right.
they
So
want
if
to
they
spend.
so if they called up and they said, I need 10 there.
Oh yeah, we do some events. We get to do an event with a local church that has like it's an event for kids that have terminal illnesses, and they had to do this every year, and they invite us out, and so we have, they pay us like a little bit per character so we can get enough people, but we usually have, it's almost the whole team like that'll come out for that, and I just let them choose who they want to be, and they go and just have fun with the kids all night, and dance with them on the dance floor and have fun. So, but yeah, I mean, we've got enough girls and guys where we could have we could have the full casts, like all of the princesses characters and their princes, and like if everybody's available, I could have
You can have
the
all
full
the
cast,
princesses
yeah.
and all the Avengers.
Right, yeah. Yes, for sure.
Now that would be something that'd be hilarious. You see the Disney princesses walk in, and then Captain America, Thor, Iron Man kind of all
Yeah,
walk
we
in.
do lots of like partner parties like
Yeah.
that where they want Elsa and Spider-Man, to come together, entertain the both genders.
So do you have an Iron Man?
We do. That one's a little trickier
That's what I was
it's a
gonna
big
ask.
like foam-based costume
Okay.
that has lots of pieces that have to be put together, and so he usually has a pepper character that comes with him that kind of helps make sure he gets a water break or
Yes.
whatever. So
have you seen the 3D printed Iron Man suits?
yeah, my friend that owns that one. She's definitely looked at a lot of that stuff too. So.
Because that one would seem to be, because I've, again, nerd, so my TikTok algorithm is all over the place, but
Yeah.
there's this guy that I watched, he printed out a Iron Man suit, and it just fits him perfectly. The mask goes up and down based off a button
Wow,
that he
yeah.
presses on the side. So, and I've been to several different Comic Cons, so I've seen
Yeah,
some
I'm
crazy
sure.
ones, and so yeah, that would be something that
That'd be
at
awesome.
least maybe 3D print the mask.
Yeah,
That
she
way it
has
can go
some
up in a-
helmets that are 3D printed and some like different, pieces that she's needed that she's had to do that. So
Yeah, the closest thing that I've ever done to something like that, like cosplaying, because I don't want to be the fat Wolverine, right? Is I have an Infinity Gauntlet, right,
Okay.
from the Infinity War,
Yeah.
and it's just on the other side of this wall, and when you could move its hands, and then it makes all kinds of racket, and so like when I first got, it, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome, and then once you kind of get over the racket that it makes, you're like, I don't know. Because if you take the batteries out, then the infinity stones don't glow, which defeats
Okay.
the whole entire purpose.
Right,
But
yeah.
if you put your hands in there and you start moving, it starts making some clanky noise. I'm like, couldn't they have just turned that off? But so as far as like the name, one of the things we haven't said yet is the name of the business.
Oh, right. You want me to say?
Yeah,
Royally Fun Parties.
Royally Fun Parties.
Yes,
And is
yeah.
that is there like a website connected to it?
Yeah, royallyfunparties.com.
Okay, and that's where you can do both princesses and superheroes, or
You can find
you can find the link to the other
yeah,
one.
so her business was called for years Real Hero Parties,
Hmm.
and she just recently changed it to Greater Purpose Events because she's kind of branched out and does like karaoke hosts parties and some other things, cool stuff. So yeah, so you can find information to get to them through my website, and
Okay.
same, vice versa. We kind of like refer people to each other. So.
What got you into this?
So when my daughter was 5 and obsessed with Frozen, like every other 5-year-old girl, we went to a birthday party that had a character, and the lady that was hosting the party was okay. She didn't really look like a princess, but I started kind of talking to her about it, and I was thinking like I could do this. This would be fun because I have a music background. You
Yeah.
know that. And so I started asking her some questions, off to the side, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm so booked that I have to turn people away." And I'm going like, "I could do this,"
Yeah.
thinking this would be fun. And so I started, started looking at companies to see if I could just get hired. And this was, 11 years ago, so I was a little younger. But I had an audition with a company and got hired. And then shortly after that, her company went under. And so I thought, well, I'll just try to start one on my own and just see what happens. And so I just put up a website and listed on Craigslist, actually.
Whatever happened to that website?
Right, I know. And then just started getting requests. Like people, I just kind of I polled all my friends and said like, okay, what are the most popular princesses? What should I buy first? And just bought a couple costumes, bought Elsa, bought Cinderella, and then as I started getting requests, I would just buy new costumes, if they requested something I didn't have yet. And I started just getting busy enough where I needed to go ahead and start building a team, and asked all my friends on Facebook, like, does anybody want a princess with me? I don't really, know what I'm doing, but if anybody wants to do that. And only one friend, messaged me back, and that was Jessica, the one that owns the other company. And she said, I'd love to, be Anna to your Elsa. And so we started doing that together and had kind of like a fake party for all of our friends, and they brought their kids so we could get some good pictures. And we just like would go and change into a different costume and come back out, and like the kids didn't even know that it was the same people.
Yeah, that's funny.
And we just did different activities, and so that's kind of how we launched it bigger. And then I ended up absorbing a lot of the girls from that other company that went under, because they also, so part of our mission is, and I kind of adopted some of this from their company. It was called Be Girly, Be Godly, and so they were like one of the only Christian character companies in the area. And so all the girls that she hired were Christians too. And so I was like, that's exactly what I want, So I kind of took it a step further. And like at the parties, we actually talked to the girls about inner beauty. So we, like at story time, we'll sit down and we'll say, what do you think it means to be beautiful? What do you think it means to be a princess? And so they'll say, like, oh, dresses and hair and makeup. And we'll say, oh, did you know that you can be beautiful on the inside too? And that's what makes you beautiful on the outside. And so we'll use the fruits of the Spirit from the Bible as examples. Like we don't necessarily talk about God or Jesus at the parties. It's just kind of the heart behind what we do. And so we'll say, if you're kind, if you're loving, if you are patient, like those are things that make you beautiful on the inside and on the outside. And so it's like a quick little lesson we do at every party, just to kind of impart that, message to the next generation. And, because of course, as girls, we can get caught up in, all of the wanting to look like the princesses or
Yeah.
wanting to, even those other traits like independence and bravery and, all those things, like they're good things, but, it's not really like, as Christians, I guess, like what we've been called to be. Like we need to be courageous, for the cause of Christ, but I think it's kind of like brings it back to, what is it really all about? Like being kind to people and having patience for people and loving people. And like, that's really what, makes a person beautiful, like,
Right.
because you can be beautiful on the outside, but then if you don't have that on the inside, then
Yes.
you're not beautiful, like it can take all that beauty away. So,
So I do like you kind of mentioned that right before we started streaming
Mm-hmm.
that you input the gifts, or not the gifts but the fruits of the Spirit. So like I think that's awesome because for one, you don't know what the Holy Spirit can do with just those
Mm-hmm.
things, like these memories that these little girls or young men or are going to take, and then oh, I had my on my 6th birthday party they were telling us this, right? So you don't know. I've heard the love, joy, peace, kindness,
Right,
right?
yeah.
And then that could lead them some specific way,
Mm-hmm.
because most people, even people that call themselves Christian, don't know the fruits of the Spirit. So you're
Right.
teaching them all these things, and it's just like long-term education that will affect them.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah.
But there's actually to back up even more than that. The way that the business got started was kind of, I never knew that this is where I would be 11 years from now, or back then. But I was at a Bible study with like a women's Bible study, and they had a prophetic speaker person, kind of like somebody from the prophetic team at our church came, and was just giving a word to like each person that was there. And I was still kind of skeptical about that at the time. Like I did not grow up in a church that did that kind of thing, so I was
Yeah.
kind of like, well, we'll see what they
Baptist,
say,
right?
And the thing that she said to me, like first of all, I didn't know I was pregnant at the time. And I had been working at the coffee shop at our local church, just kind of like me going back to work after having my daughter, just to help, with the budget or whatever. And so at this Bible study, like, oh, well, so sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So she said, so I didn't know I was pregnant yet, and I was about to apply for a position within the church that would be like, a step up, like more like admin side of the church, which would have been kind of a dream job for me. And I was great friends with the lady that was over that, and so I had a good chance, I felt like. And, we were thinking about putting my daughter in preschool and, me kind of going back to work full time. But then at the Bible study, she said, your life is about to take a different direction than you had planned. And I see you sitting with women at your feet and you telling them, like imparting truth to them. Sorry. And yeah, and so I didn't know what the heck she was talking about at the time. I was like, I don't know what that means, because I've never felt called to, like teach women's Bible studies or anything like that. I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do with that. But then fast forward to, the princess business, like I didn't even think about that, and found out I was pregnant shortly after with my son, which meant I couldn't go back to work full time, and I might as well just stay home, and then we started looking into homeschooling, and we started doing that, and that took us a totally different road. Like we never had planned to homeschool originally, and now, here we are,
Right.
in the high school years, still homeschooling. So, but yeah, so then fast forward, I'm at a party, I had totally forgotten about that prophetic word, at a party, reading the story to the little kids and doing my little inner beauty lesson, and then it just hit me. It was like, just straight to my heart, like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what she was talking about. Like I'm, pouring into this next generation, like teaching them truth and, making them feel special and loved. And it was just a cool, full circle to see
Yeah.
that actually come to pass. And, without me really being aware of it, how I went down that path, and yeah, just seeing my life take a totally different direction.
So when you're in that moment, you're just like, God reminded you of this lady from a few years ago telling you like, hey, this is what you're going to be doing. You're like, whoa,
Right.
I am doing this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That was cool.
The only other story that I'm aware of that was something like that is my co-host of the other show that I do, the Fire Resistant on Twitch. My co-host tells a story about at the moment where he was contemplating suicide. He said God gave him a vision of a lady that needed his help.
Wow.
And it was something like 10, 15 years later, because he's in the medical field, and he walked in the room and saw a lady. He said he like about passed out
Wow.
from the moment, because he knew like it was like something that because he said God spoke to me. I put the gun back in the holster and I went back on with my life and
Yeah.
found this woman later, and I was like, that's crazy.
Wow.
His story is pretty wild, but not to venture us off into Fred world. But so you had said that when you started, it was you, like you were, I guess, Elsa, and
Yeah, a
then
lot of Elsa.
and then there was another
And then
lady.
Ariel and Cinderella, whatever. Yeah. And
So
then, my friend came on with me to start, because I needed Anna a lot. And
you'd show up and they're like, "Where's Anna?" And you're
yeah,
like, "Ooh."
yes. And then about a year after I started mine, she was thinking like, well, what if you added superheroes? And I'm like, I don't want to deal with guys. Like, I just don't want to be like,
I just need one
in
for
charge of
Captain
them.
America.
Right. Yeah.
Did you ever get your husband to
I
do a party?
I tried. He does not want to get in
No,
a costume.
he doesn't want to do
No,
Captain America.
No,
Be like, hey,
no.
I really need you at this party. All my Captain Americas, or
know,
no,
yeah,
wouldn't pick
no.
up the shield for you.
No.
I bet you if you were in a pinch, you probably would. But it'd just be, if you're not
Yeah.
comfortable in front of kids, because he's pretty tall and he's pull off the look as long as he had the mask
Yeah.
on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's not his thing.
Right. Do any of your kids help you out with those?
Yes, my daughter, actually, when she was still young, we'd have her be Sophia the First. I don't know if you're familiar with that character. She's like a kid princess. So they could book her for an extra like $10 an hour, to just come. And
What movie is that from?
it's a TV show on Disney Junior.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it's just like, she's like a kid princess that gets to meet all the princesses in her show.
Oh okay, it's a cool concept.
Yeah. So and then now that, she's adult size, she does, other stuff too.
So she's involved with the company.
Yeah,
as well?
she does. Yeah, we do. We branched out a little bit to kind of widen our demographic a little bit. So we do spa parties too. So that helps, kind of more like the 10-year-olds, like that too. So she likes to do those actually a lot. But yeah, we do that, and craft parties. And
So when you say spa parties for 10-year-olds, so they go there and they clip. I'm a dude, okay?
No,
so
yeah,
so
no,
like
it's okay.
so what do they do? They clip their nails or something?
yeah, so we come to their house or wherever their party is, and we just bring like tubs, for them soaking their feet. We don't clip nails because we're not, licensed spa
Okay.
people or anything. It's more just for kind of the fun of it. So they just soak their feet with a little bath bomb that has a surprise in it, and they get to wear little robes over their clothes, and all matching. And some of them choose makeovers too. So we'll do like the facial, it's just little cucumber pads and all that, and just make them feel like they're getting a little
Yeah.
spa treatment, and then do a little makeup, and yeah, they have fun with that. So
I did not they call it a spa treatment, but I want to say probably about 7 years ago I did my first pedicure.
okay.
And then I did it with Christy and kind of fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then a buddy of
Nice.
mine that lives over here, he would call me every so often, and then we'd go get pedicures together.
Nice.
And we would get matching toenail paint. So and it was like our joking secret, of course, for our wives knew that but there was one time, I don't remember what I did, like as far as I was taking a picture of something, and like 3 of my toes were in the photo for whatever reason, and I had posted it on Facebook. Again, I don't remember what I was taking a picture of. No one cared about that picture except for my toes. They're like, why are your toes painted? And I was like, oh no, the firestorm. Chrissy made me do it. No, she wouldn't have you do, because that time it was 4th of July, so we had got our toenails red, white, and blue. And so I have a little bit of knowledge in at least
That's
the
funny.
pedicure portion of it.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting because I talked my co-host, and again, if you ever meet Fred, you would say, how in the world did you talk him into doing this? And even so, like, it was me, this other guy named Josh, this other guy named Aaron, and me, and we were all getting pedicures to get one Saturday night.
That's
just
funny.
joking. And And I had a picture of Fred getting the thing, and he was like, "You delete that immediately." Okay, sir, it is done.
Right.
So all the evidence that ever happened was gone. So,
That's funny.
but yeah. So I generally just get the pedicure stuff with Christy. So I know it's not the same thing that y'all do, but it's just interesting that. The one that we go to has like you have your normal size seat and you have your small
Yeah, the
seat
little
for
kid ones.
for the
Yeah.
little girls.
No,
And-
we're not that fancy. It's just, we have little kid chairs and
Yeah.
little tubs and and we paint their nails. Yeah.
How long does the party normally last?
They can book it for, however long they book. Like if it's for the princess, they can choose, half hour up to 2 hours. And we just fill that whole time with activities and, the customer gets to kind of choose some of that. So, and then the spa parties usually take about hour and a half to 2 hours. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So how is there certain times of the year that are busier than others?
Right now is the busiest time. I think with fall festivals and different
That
things,
makes
there's
sense.
extra events that
Halloween,
we don't
yeah.
normally have. And the summers kind of slow down a little bit, I guess, because people travel instead of having parties, maybe. But yeah, the fall is,
Yeah, that makes
especially
sense.
October, is crazy
Yeah.
usually. So
'Cause
and
like,
April,
So is the week after Halloween, is that the best time to buy costumes to kind of restock for the year?
I
Or-
mean, we usually buy ours from more high end vendors, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so it doesn't look, so it's not plasticky looking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually made of fabric and all
Right.
that.
Yeah,
It
so
won't
those
fall
are-
apart when the wind blows.
Right.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Like it's full around, the whole costume goes all the way around instead of just little
Yeah.
ties in the back,
Quick, my button came undone. All right,
Right.
we got you, Elsa. Get back in there.
Yep, yeah.
So, we had talked about your husband earlier. Mm-hmm. So, how did y'all meet?
In high school.
Oh, high
We
school
met
sweethearts.
in
Okay.
biology class freshman year. We did not start dating though until
okay.
later. But he did eat my project in ninth grade.
That's how I got your attention.
Yep.
He's like, I'm going to just eat her
Yeah. No, he was not class clown, but he was always, joking around and stuff. So had my attention from the beginning, but
Yeah.
it took a while for him to
What was your
come
project?
around. It was a model of a molecule or something, and it had I used malt balls and spray painted them,
Oh,
and glued
okay.
them all over. So it was chocolate in the inside.
See,
but
I was
he ate the
I was
spray
wondering.
paint.
I was wondering. I was like, how in the world did he eat the solar system?
Right.
But so y'all meet in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You said freshman year. So when did y'all actually start dating?
Not till the end of junior year.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he just kind of hovered around. Y'all hovered
No,
around.
he always had a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
So I was just waiting.
You were just waiting, and
Yeah.
as soon as hey, he's single. Okay, let's go over there. Knock, knock, knock.
Sort of.
Yeah. So, how long did y'all date before you got engaged?
Not very long. We were engaged in high school.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Don't tell my daughter this because she is.
Don't listen to
No,
this
she knows.
podcast.
She knows.
Oh, okay.
She knows.
I was going to say, give me the camera. Don't listen. Stop.
No, she knows.
Skip 30 seconds, minute.
Yeah, we got married at 18, so we were, yeah.
High school sweethearts married at 18. How long have y'all been married now?
It'll be 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, next December. so,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank
We
you.
hit 20 in April 30th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So we're
cool.
in the 20s too.
Yeah, yeah.
But so y'all dated, and then a lot of times for whatever reason when I get people on here, we start talking about
Mm-hmm.
the relationship. So how did you know that okay, this is my guy, right? You started dating, and then
Mm-hmm.
because you find sometimes you date someone, you're like, yeah, I really want to date that person. You start dating, probably not for me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But how do you know, or how did you know? Do you remember was there a moment where you're like, yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
is my guy for life?
I don't know. We clicked really well. We both were similar in a lot of ways, but then opposite in the right ways, that
Yeah.
we balance each other out. But honestly, I mean, we are not the same people that we married.
Yeah.
We have changed so much, but in a good way. We've, been through a lot as a couple and been through a lot of hard things and then come out on the other side of it, stronger and closer and, knowing more how to just die to yourself and serve the other person. Both doing that is really what I think saved us. And then, obviously God changing
Yeah.
our hearts and things like that. But yeah, I think, what was your original question?
When did you know?
Oh, right. I don't know.
Well, so
Yeah, I
I
think just
I guess when you talk about the hardships, I'll pivot from there. When you
okay.
talk about the hardships, so of course we're not going to go that's y'all's business, but like I think because I agree with you because Christy and myself are not the same people
Yeah.
at the beginning, even
Right.
while
Like,
we were
thank God.
right,
Yeah.
right. Because I look back and it's just like there's just stupid things that I did because I was 24, 25 at the
Right.
time, but like. I really do think, and do you agree potentially with this statement, is like that first 10 years is you're really trying to figure yourself out within not only the relationship, but then also like with God and
Yeah.
how the flow kind of works together because like we're like in stride right now. I can't lie and say that we're not, but we're cruising right now. We're having too much fun. Time's
Right.
going by way too quick for us. But what do you think? Would you agree with that statement? First kind of 10 years?
Yeah, definitely. He joined the Air Force right out of high school. So
Oh,
we,
okay.
you know, moving away from family, we had to kind of figure things out on our own more quickly, I guess, because we didn't have family to just like run to or, friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we kind of had to, we were just on our own. Um, but, it also forced us to deal with a lot of things that I think maybe people don't deal with until later.
Yeah.
It just kind of I mean, that's just what marriage does anyway, right? It just fleshes out all the yucky stuff about yourself
All
that
the
you
stuff
don't want anybody else to know.
all the stuff you were hiding
Yeah.
while you were dating
Right.
comes
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think for sure it's that first 10 years where you're just figuring out who you are and, how to truly love that other person. Like you're choosing to love them.
Right.
Like you get to the part where you see all the flaws and you're like, no, I still choose you. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, on the guy's side, it's like, close your ears, Dexter. But, there's the lust portion kind of at the beginning for the guys where
Right.
we're just like, okay, then once you kind of realize like life is much more than just that, then once you get past that portion, you move into the realm of like, okay, this particular person just isn't like a sexual object, that like she's so much more than that. And I think that's where when the rubber meets the road, right? So
Right.
I'm blessed to have her on camera stating that like she's not worried that when Elise graduates high school and leaves that like what are we going to do?
Right.
Like as far as like cuz you hear couples that when the kids leave they've put all themselves into the kids. They don't know each other, they don't
Yeah.
have friends, all that sort of stuff. So like when the kids leave like we go on vacations by ourselves and we have tremendous amount of fun. Like the pictures from when we went to Vegas last year are popping up on the Facebook, and no kids. We had fun. We didn't gamble. We didn't do anything other than when we went to a couple shows. But like we went out there and we just had fun
Yeah.
together. So when the kids decide to leave, it's like we'll still have fun
You're still
together.
best friends.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I joke and tell her she's not my best friend, but she knows she is.
Right.
But as far as the Air Force goes, so I think y'all have been going to the church. I think about like a year or so, maybe a year and a half,
Probably,
maybe longer.
yeah, maybe a year and a half now.
The reason why I
Yeah.
say that is like I met your husband like when y'all first started coming. I think I messaged you on Facebook to try to get to know
Right.
him, and then I just haven't. So like I don't know anything about him. So
Okay.
when you say that he joined the Air Force, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. So like so from the woman's side, he's in the Air Force. Are y'all staying on base, or did y'all did y'all stay
We
like in a
did
house?
sometimes. Like our first apartment was off base,
Mm-hmm.
but we stayed on base for certain parts of that. But
Did you prefer on base or away from it?
you can bank more if you're off base because you get like your base housing allowance,
Mm-hmm.
and if you choose like somewhere with cheaper rent, you just get to keep that extra money. But on base is nice too because it's very secure and
Yeah.
you have that camaraderie of all your neighbors are military too, and that's nice. But you're right next to the commissary and everything that you need. He's right next to work. That was when he learned how to drive really safely. It was when we lived on base because you get in trouble for every little thing.
Oh, really?
But,
Oh, so
yeah.
so if you stayed on base, it was just like Sunday best all the
Right,
time,
yeah.
walk down with the dog on the leash.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Because my only time I've ever been on base is I had a buddy that was also in the Air Force. He got stationed at Hickam Air Force Base
Okay.
in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So like we used that opportunity to be like, hey, Will, can
Yep.
we come and visit you? So Christy and I flew over, and at the time she had Dexter went with us because he was in utero at the time. So Dexter went to Hawaii too. He just can't remember any of it, but we that was the only time that we got I've ever been on base ever. And so seeing that environment and being around that environment is just
Yeah.
super cool. I mean, for a
Yeah, it is
civilian,
neat.
like if you live in it,
It's like
maybe
a city.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
it
neat.
definitely was because the Hickam Air Force Base, they have their own private beach too. So like we went there and had cookouts, so we didn't have to worry about the locals getting
Right.
mad or get drunk or anything like that. So it was definitely a good time. But again, I know it's from a civilian standpoint. You lived on base for however long you did, so you probably may or may not have gotten tired of that at one point.
Yeah, I mean, no, not really. It was good.
I know. So as far as like your time, when he was in the Air Force, was it all before kids?
Yes, yeah, we tried to have kids for a long time before we had Madeline, or before we had my daughter. But yes, yeah, that was all pre-kids, and then he got out after 6 years because he had to do a remote assignment in Korea, which means I'm not allowed to come with him.
Oh wow.
They have two bases for the Air Force there, and the one that he got sent to was the one that you can't bring your family. So I moved back in with my parents for that year. And thankfully we didn't have kids because that I think would have been harder for him probably to not, get to see them for a year would have been hard. But yeah, so then after that, after he got out, we settled back here and, started trying again, and then we're able to have her. So
How long was he in the Air Force total?
just 6 years.
6 years.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
I've been talking to Dexter about potentially joining the Air Force. I mean, all that's kind of in the air right now. It's up to
Yeah.
him. I don't want him to do anything that I tell him to do, but
Right.
I think Air Force would be a good spot for him if, again, I don't want to force him to do anything.
Right. It was a good way for us because we got married so young. It set us off well, like to start off financially secure. So
Yeah, so 6 years of marriage and then your daughter comes along. That's at least enough time to get in the middle of know each other,
Right.
and you're kind of got the, hey, this is my role, this is your role, and the during this time, are y'all church people or?
yeah, we every base we were at, we just like joined a local church and would join a small group and be like real involved with all that. So
Nice. Were
Yeah.
you in the worship team? Or-
at the one that we lived in Florida. That was our first base, which is great. We did serve, or I did serve a little bit on the worship team there. In New Mexico, I don't think I did. But then once we settled back here, we were part of a small group, and we led worship with our small group. We were part of a really big church, so
Okay.
yeah. So they had that figured out.
Well,
So I didn't even try.
I can tell you that, like your daughter, you and your husband, like y'all have like phenomenal singing voices.
Thank you.
So definitely blessed there. So like in my household, so Dexter and Elise, right? You know of their existence. I have a 25-year-old that I had with my high school girlfriend,
Okay.
and he can sing. Dexter can sing. Elise can sing. Christy can sing.
But not you?
No.
Really?
No, definitely not. And and Christy and I, and you may find this funny, on the 20th episode, Christy and I did another episode together, and 20 years of marriage, she finally discloses that she wished she had a husband that could play the guitar. And I was like, why did you wait 20 years to tell me? So like now I've been practicing. I can play like, I don't know, I think 5 chords now.
Hey, that's all you need.
Well, the important ones are the ones that I can't hit, like F and
Okay.
I think what is it? Is it D? The one? Do you play the guitar?
I've tried in the past, but
Well, hey, you
yeah.
can sing. That's all that matters, right? That you can sing. But yeah, it's just my fingers are
It's a
fat.
harder one.
Huh?
Have you tried bar chords? That's what I had to do because I couldn't handle like pushing the strings hard. Like it hurt my fingers.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you. I don't know what that means.
It's some way you can tune the guitar where you only have to use one finger for the chords.
Oh,
Try
well, Christy's been holding out on me. That's what's going on. I don't want a husband that does bar chords. That's easy stuff.
I don't know. I don't know very much, but I know that helped me.
Well, what I did is I went on YouTube because it's YouTube, and I found this lady that she's very good at teaching, and that's I've just been watching her
Yeah.
videos. But it's just a matter of like my fingers are, I guess the best way to say is fat fingers. So, but I've seen people with fat fingers that play the guitar phenomenally. So, but it's just a matter of figuring out where my fingers go,
Yeah.
so I don't mute other chords. So
Yeah.
like if you tell me like an F, I can do I can show you with my hand that I can put F, but when I go, it'll go blomp.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's basically what it is, and I know that will get better with time.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
but I think if we were to ask Christy, would you rather have a husband that plays guitar or sing? She'd be like, sing. So
I always said that, like growing up, I have to have a husband who can sing. I cannot marry somebody that can't. No offense.
so as soon as you heard him sing, you're like, that put the ring on
Yeah,
now.
he can dance, which he will not admit, but he can dance too.
Salsa dance,
um,
or I guess
no,
define. What do you mean
just-
dance?
well,
He's got groove. He's got the
yes.
Okay.
He's just naturally good at dancing.
Yeah.
Like we had our senior year in high school, they had like a senior talent show, and so I sang, of course, with his friend who sings really well. And then he danced with his friend, like a couple of friends. They did like the NSYNC Digital Get Down. They did that song. We have a video of it somewhere.
That's got to go up on YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
like
it's great.
you got to put it up there because
Yeah.
NSYNC's is back popular again.
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't know that.
Backstreet Boys, all them like
Okay.
Backstreet Boys.
They're trying
just,
to.
Well, they were at this that Vegas Sphere thing. If you know what that
I
is.
don't know
so
about that.
if you Google Vegas Sphere, it's like this big, huge circle.
Okay.
And in
Yes, I have heard about that.
Okay,
Yeah,
and it's
okay.
made out of LED
I thought you
screens.
said fear. I was
Oh.
like, I do not know what that is.
Who would be afraid of the Backstreet Boys? But no. But yeah, so boy bands are making a comeback. So like you throw that online, and I think
Yeah.
embarrass your husband just a little bit. Not my idea. Just okay. I don't need to knock
I'd
on
have
my
to check
door.
with the other two guys too. Make sure
Yeah.
it's good.
But you so y'all did the talent show. Did either one of you win?
It wasn't that kind of talent show.
Oh.
It was just they didn't have like winners, but
So it's just whoever wanted to go up there could go up there.
yeah, just like
Okay.
a showcase, I guess, would be
Kinda,
better.
Kind of like was there a winner in Napoleon Dynamite? Did he do the Napoleon Dynamite thing where he walked
no.
up there and just?
Yeah, no, I mean, no, it was pretty cool.
Well, nice. So, you said that you and or your husband, y'all have been going to the Second Mile for about a year and a half, right?
I think so.
What drew you to the church?
So we were at Gateway. Can I say church names?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
We were at Gateway for like 14 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then COVID messed all that up because they were closed for a long time. Their childcare was closed for a long time. So like all of our friends went elsewhere. Like they all ended up at Mercy Culture or different churches. So we kept going to Gateway because we were like loyal. We're like,
Right.
we don't have a reason to leave. We just, anyway. But then it just never felt the same because we were serving as zone leaders over small groups. And so we were, I don't know, like, anyways,
Yeah.
it just wasn't the same anymore because we didn't have that anymore. We didn't have our small group people anymore. And it just, we'd go and we'd see people that we kind of knew, but it just wasn't the same. And I know if we had jumped in and served somewhere else, I'm sure that would have changed. But it just, think everything had changed at that
Yeah.
point. So
There's a lot of things that changed after COVID
yeah.
with multiple churches. I wish I
Yeah.
knew because did you serve at the campus that was over by us, over by the church?
No, we were at the NRH one
Okay.
forever. Yeah.
The reason why I ask is I was going to tell you to ask Christy, her best friend's dad. He passed away like I think 3 years ago or so, but he served at Gateway as like the janitorial guy for like ever.
Yeah,
that's what
I did help with the North Fort Worth campus. Like I was working in the coffee shop and helped them open
Then you
that
probably had
new
interaction
branch
with this
and
guy.
everything. Maybe.
He was a short Hispanic guy, super nice. And if he got your phone number, then
Yeah.
he would send you Bible verses all the time.
Oh,
like
that's
a
cool.
bunch of people that spoke on, at his funeral. We went because it was Sarah's one of Christy's best friends and my friend by proxy of marriage now,
Yeah.
right? And we went there, and there was just so many people that spoke about how that like even when he was on his deathbed, he was still sending text to people praising God and Bible verses and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. I just don't know his name. But yeah, he served at Gateway forever.
That's cool.
So
I'm sure I would know his face because, I was around both campuses a lot. So
yeah, so what's funny about that Gateway is it used to be a Winn-Dixie.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason why I know that is because I opened up that Winn-Dixie
Oh,
store.
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The NRH one? Or
No, the one that's over by our church.
Okay,
Yeah, Beach Street.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that used to be a Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
And it was just funny walking in there because like I had spent so much time in there because it was I think it was right after I graduated high school is when that store opened up. And since they opened it up, I was a new hire. They fill in the store. They put me in the meat department, and then when I left, I never went back. Not because of anything other than I just didn't go back to the store. And so stepping into that building for the first
Yeah.
time, it was
Seeing it all remodeled.
Yeah, it was for a funeral, but it was still just wild to
Yeah.
see that. I was like, this is weird being in this building, repurposed for that. But it was definitely interesting to say the least because, bigger churches are like their own kind of world, right? And I grew up in like East Texas, right, to a degree. I mean, I ended up here in DFW for majority, but like my first memories of church is like a really small East Texas church. And when we went and buried my grandma, I took the kids, and I was really hoping that somebody would be at the church that way I could see what it looks like now. But we went and looked at the church, and just weird to see how we get from here to here. And the whole reason I bring that up is so when one of the things that got us into Second Mile was it was like it had kind of like that feel,
Yeah.
and there's a little bit to do with, of course, Pastor Todd, because I don't, you wouldn't know this, but like his dad was my mom's youth director.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
when we first started going to the church, it was, I didn't want it to be because of that connection, but like when we went there, we knew that that's
Yeah.
where our home was going to be.
That's
So,
cool.
But
Yeah,
I-
so
but did
Sorry.
y'all visit other churches, or did y'all just go to Second Mile and like, this is it?
So the church I grew up in used to be called NRHBC, or North Richland Hills Baptist, but it's now called Cross Church. And so we visited. There's another branch of it that they've like kind of have a sister one now, and so we visited that one for a while because my parents still go there. But it just wasn't. That was weird because my mom was on staff at the time too, and so it was just I felt like I couldn't be fully me, like have discussions in the Sunday school class,
Yeah.
and like really tell my opinions because I didn't want them to be like, oh, that's Miss Betty's daughter, So that just didn't feel like a great fit, even though I wish it was because I would love to go with my whole family, like with my parents, but. And then my daughter got connected at Second Mile first through the youth group because
Okay.
our homeschool group, a lot of them go there. So that's how we ended up coming over there. So, and we, once we visited, we really liked how down to earth Pastor Todd is and how
Yeah.
genuine he is. Yeah, I'm just not afraid to say anything,
Yeah.
from the pulpit. So, that was one of the things we loved about Gateway too. Pastor Robert's very just genuine, Yeah, so.
So one of the things that has, and I said it to his face several times, and on the podcast I said it to him, like one of the things that makes me excited about Second Mile is Jackson. Like Jackson, so whenever we were doing the men's prayer breakfast, like he would come up there and we'd cook breakfast together for the men. So we had all of these kinds of theology talks and eschatology, all this sort of
Yeah.
stuff going on. So like, and that was before he was in the youth group. So when it was time for him to go in a youth group, I was like, there's no doubt in my mind that Jackson's not going to get up there and just be like, here's the truth, because
Right.
it's in his soul. It's who he is. So Jackson, and then, watching Blair, because we started going right when Blair was put in the position that he is now.
Okay.
So seeing him grow, seeing Jackson grow, even seeing PT grow, it's been wild
Yeah.
to watch, and even seeing. I'm not going to say his last name, but Chris, the big tall
Yeah.
Chris. Even watching him from when we first started going to where he is now, like it's
Yeah.
you see the Holy Spirit moving, you see people growing, and then after this consecration thing that we just did, like I fully expecting more of it.
Right.
I've been giving that consecration to anybody that'll listen.
Yeah, I almost thought about like posting it on my Facebook, like the online version of it, just for people, just recommend it because it was really, really good.
Yeah, so I just switched my real estate license to a different broker, and I was filling out stuff and I was sending it to the people that needed the information. My phone rings, And it's one of the ladies that I've never met her. She's over in Sherman, Texas, right? That's like 2 hours away from here. She's like, hey, I just got all your information. I have a question for you. And I was thinking it was going to be about my license or something. She's like, it says you do an online Christian talk show. She's like, tell me about that. And then we just started talking. And then she told me about the church she goes to. I was telling her about Second Mile, and I told her about the consecration. She's like, oh, send that to me. So
That's awesome.
just here's a conversation. She saw a Christian talk show, and then poof.
Yeah.
So now she's got it, and I hope that God takes that, because that link still works.
Yeah.
So even on the Twitch show that I do, we put it in the chat. We're like, hey,
Oh, nice.
we talked about it because I gave it to my co-host, and he didn't do all of it, but he did some of it, and then just send it out there. Say, hey, this is it. This is where the rubber meets the road. Like, it's going to ask you
Right. Like
uncomfortable
if you're ready
questions.
To get real.
Yeah, if you're ready to
Here
get
it
real.
is.
The story that I've told from it, I don't know if you have something from it, but like the example that I use to let people know that it's serious is one of the sections of it is past grievances, right? So I'm generally a pretty laid back guy. There's nothing that you can say generally that will offend me, and I try not to offend people. So I was like, I'm gonna skip through this, right? This is gonna be pretty easy for me because I'm not really rude to people. Maybe in the car, yes, but I can't go. I can't find
They
them.
don't know that
I
I'm
can't
saying
find them,
that.
right? They can just see me like this, and he's singing, yeah, singing with an
Right.
angry face and shaking his fist. He's listening to Limp Bizkit again, but so I was sitting there in the closet that's in our room, and because that's what I wanted because I have ADHD, so sound, music, anything like that will totally distract me. So I put a chair in there, shut the door, so it's just me and the four walls enclosed, right? And so I was like, Lord, I don't think that I have anything, but like I'm open. So like, show me. And he reached back 26 years,
Wow.
25 years, somewhere around in there, to a girl that my friends and I like verbally bullied so much she left the church.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was part of the youth group, and then for whatever reason, she became our target, and we bullied her so much she stopped going to
Wow.
church.
Yeah.
And so I found her on Facebook, and I sent her a message, and I was like, "Hey, I know this is weird, but like it's weird for me too." And I sent her a nice little message. As of right now, to my knowledge, she hasn't seen it, but that's not my job
Yeah.
anymore. But like
Right.
I have not thought of this young lady, or technically same age as me, like 25 years. Like,
Yeah.
would have never even thought of it.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here in the closet, and God's like this.
Yeah.
So I'm really
That's
hoping and praying that, like, whether it's this week, next week, sometime in the future, she says, "Oh, someone sent me a message," because since we're not friends, it
Right.
doesn't.
Oh yeah, it does the little request thing.
Yeah. So she may see the request and go, "I don't want to be friends with him. He's
Right.
a jackwagon to me. Why would I ever want to talk to him again?" But yeah, that's one of those moments where I was like, "Okay, yeah, thanks for cross-checking me in the boards,
Yeah,
God."
that's cool.
But yeah, I don't know. Did you have anything like that? You don't have to share. You can
No,
say
I'm
yes
just
or
trying to
no.
think back to the
Because that's supposed to be
categories.
between you and God.
Yeah.
But that's just one that I use, just because I don't have to use her name. I don't have to
Right.
say other than I was just a teenager being a bully, and that's enough, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the things that I've thoroughly enjoyed about the church that we go to is pastors trying to make it real for us.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love yeah, just the whole consecration thing was just really good. Like wanting everybody to really, get with God and let the Holy Spirit show you things. And I'm excited about where we're headed as a church, and I think it's going to be really good. Yeah, there were some categories that there was one that surprised me, and I'm trying to think now which one it was. That some stuff came to mind that I didn't expect. Same thing. I
Yeah.
thought I was just going to skip over it, and then I couldn't. No, I can't remember now.
Well,
I need to look at the list of them.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm just playing. But let me throw us back to the previous conversation we're having about your husband, right? So for whatever reason, this is always going to be in my mind. So no matter who I have on here, I'm going to ask. But for like three podcasts in a row, for whatever reason, the way that somebody ask you for your engagement, how did he do that?
oh gosh, ours is not a good story. I mean,
Uh-oh.
it makes a good story.
And did he here you go?
So
just-
we, like I said, we were not the same people we were when
Yeah.
we got together. We were not in God's will at all. We were not being obedient to God. We were not being obedient to our parents. We were just being teenagers and doing what we wanted to do. And we were skipping school, actually, together at my house. And my mom
Wait a
came
minute,
home.
do we need to not
No,
tell?
it's fine.
Okay,
It's
okay.
fine. And my mom came home and found us there and took us back to school in her car, but his car was still there, or one of our cars was still there. And, she said, you guys go back to school. You're grounded from each other, the whole
Yeah.
speech. And then instead of going to school, we walk back out and get in his car and go to the mall and get a ring to get engaged
Oh,
so that
okay.
they could not keep us apart from each other.
So defiant
yes,
proposal.
Yes.
We'll
And
show
then
them.
yeah. And so while my ring was getting sized, we watched the Blair Witch Project at the mall. And then in the parking lot, he asked me to marry him. So,
That is the greatest proposal
yeah.
I've ever heard.
Yes, so he, I think, regrets that, once would like a redo of that. But, like I said, we're not the same that we were.
How
so.
many people can say that they saw the Blair Witch Project and got engaged in the same day? Probably
Right.
not. That's
Probably
very
not.
distinct to y'all. So don't regret it. Embrace it. Like
Yeah.
every time that the anniversary of the proposal happens, one of you should just stand in the corner while the other one screams
Yep.
bloody murder.
Yep. Or walk around in the woods with like
Yeah.
a flashlight on your face. Yeah.
Do
That's
you-
all I remember from that movie.
Oh, so that was literally what I was about to
Yeah.
ask. Do you remember that movie
No,
at all?
that's all I remember is them being in the dark in the woods and there's like a light shining on their face and you see their nose running. Like
Yeah.
that's all I remember.
The thing about that movie is, it's it's wild to talk to my eldest son, and if him and I, Dexter, if we ever talk about it, it's hard for them to understand because I don't know do you remember all of the stuff that was going on around that movie? So
No.
I'm a huge movie nerd too, so it was at the birth of the internet, which is the reason why
Okay.
that they can't fully comprehend that.
Right.
And so all we heard about this movie is that they found these tapes and that these kids really died. Right, so you're going to the movie. I did. All my friends are. Everybody in the DFW area was going to this movie because, like, all you heard was they found these tapes, they turn it into a movie, and these kids get systematically killed off or whatever. And all you saw was the girl snotting and
Right.
camera, all that sort of stuff. And then they show the scene where they're in the tent. You see the hands doing that on the just freaky stuff, right? And so they had a website. The very very beginning of the internet where you whoa, the website, click on there and it took you through. Somebody was so phenomenally awesome back then, but they had like a website where like you would click and it would show you the clues on this fake thing that really didn't happen, but everybody believed it, and that's
Yeah.
what made that movie so popular. And the
Okay.
reason that people wanted to go see is because when we were going to the theater,
Yeah.
we thought it was true.
Right. I'll have to ask my husband if he thought it was true because I don't remember having any of those thoughts. But I was also probably in engagement world and did not
Yeah.
pay attention to that. So.
Well, are you a movie person at all?
I wasn't then. I am
Yeah,
now. He
okay.
he brought me into movie world. So
Good for
I grew
him.
up not really watching a whole lot.
So then you probably didn't even care about all of the
Nope.
hoopla that
No.
was
And
swirling
I didn't like
around
scary
this movie.
movies either, so it was not my choice.
Yeah. So you definitely ask him about that. See if he remembers,
Yep,
because I
I will
remember
have to.
walking into the theater being like, "We're gonna watch people die, like
Yeah,
for real." And
that's
I was like, "I
crazy.
don't know if I want to see this or not." And then like as the movie progresses, I've seen scarier movies than that movie that before I walked in. So like the thing that as stuff kept happening, I was like, you're saying like, I don't know if I can handle this, but then like as the movie progresses, you're like, yeah, it's really not that bad. And then the whole ending sequence of the girl running down the stairs and the guy
See, I don't
facing the
remember
wall.
any of it.
Oh, you don't.
It's like, nope, totally gone out of
I'm
my
a movie
brain.
guy. I mean, that's literally the
Yeah.
way the movie ends. Is there's a guy telling a story about how the Blair Witch would make one person look at the wall, and then they would kill the other person, and then kill the person staring at the
Okay.
wall. So it was just that's literally the way the movie ends. Is they killed, and then once the thing about that movie is when I remember walking out of it, just because I really thought I just saw people. They
Yeah.
never showed anybody die. It was all off camera. So I was like, I can't believe we just watched people die. And then like it comes out that like, hey, look, here are the actors. It's not really that. That's
That
rude.
was a genius
That was rude.
marketing move.
It was.
is what
It was. You couldn't get away with that now.
Yeah.
You just can't because
Right.
of the way the internet works. But again, it was at the birth of the internet.
Yeah.
And that movie was made for like $15,000 and it grossed some crazy like 100 million, 200 million,
Wow.
some I don't remember know the exact number, but it's like at the time I think it was the balance of it, like since it was made for so little and it made so much, like there was no other movie that was even going to come close
Wow.
to that. And then that movie Paranormal Activity came out, and I
Yeah.
think it destroyed Blair Witch
Okay.
doing the same thing because they made this movie in their house,
Right.
and then it blew up too because people thought it was real.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, see, I can't watch that kind of stuff.
So for me, when it comes to horror movies, I have a set of rules where unless it meets them, I don't really watch it. So I don't really see horror movies very often.
Okay.
So I generally stick with superhero stuff.
Yeah.
I know people can't see it, but like I've got this bookcase filled with
Right.
Batman,
I know,
Batman
it's cool. You have a
Funko
great
Pops.
collection.
Yeah, some of those Christy bought me. Like she would listen to me talk, and then she would just buy it, and then it's up there. That's why you could tell I like Batman, right?
Right. Yeah.
So since you're a movie person now, shifting gears momentarily from the proposal, because I have I have follow-up questions for that.
Okay.
So Batman.
Yes.
Okay. So have you seen all of the Batman
Not
related?
all of them.
Okay. So have you seen Affleck as Batman?
No.
Okay. Well then no.
Sorry.
Conversation over. Delete
Yeah.
everything. I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
I'm just kidding.
And I don't know if I probably went too far saying I'm a movie person.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I like watching movies, but I don't love to watch them again.
Oh, okay.
I like to be surprised. I like the journey of the movie, but if I've already seen it, then I'm like, meh.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, if it's been a long enough, like, between, and I just watched all 3 Hobbits, like, for the first time recently.
Gross.
So. Well, we read it. I taught my daughter's class last year, and we had to read The Hobbit. So one of the kids in our class, like, loves The Hobbit, and he's like, can we please get together and all watch the movies? And so we did, and it was
Yeah.
a long day, but it was good.
I was very disappointed with those movies. So like for
Did
me,
you read the book first? Or?
well, I grew up on
Okay.
on all of
Yeah.
that, and so like I was a huge fan of Lord of the Rings. So my friends and we actually flew to Hollywood and we
Oh,
went
wow.
to the Lord of the Rings Oscar party.
Oh,
so we were
cool.
actually there. That's how much I love
Yeah,
it, right?
uh-huh,
So we were actually
yeah.
there, and so when the Hobbit movies come out, so again, I'm a huge nerd, so I know the backstory. So when they announced the Hobbit movies, they're like, we're going to do 2 movies. And like 2 movies for the Hobbit, because
Yeah.
the book's like that thin.
Uh-huh.
Like two movies for the Hobbit seems like a lot, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're like 3 movies.
Wow.
And we're like,
Yeah, there's
"Wow."
definitely some slow parts.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so I didn't like them so much, like that they came out with extended cuts of those movies.
Oh, wow.
So did you know about those? So this may be something that can get you to watch Lord of the Rings again.
Okay.
But so there's a theatrical cut for each movie, and then there's an extended cut for each
Okay.
movie. And like Fellowship adds 35 minutes to it.
Wow.
Two Towers, I think, adds 45 minutes to it, and then Return of the King adds like 54 minutes to it.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, so there's a lot of content in each one of the extended cuts. And if you've read, have you read the Lord of the Rings? So Fellowship is the closest in the movies to the book. So they added details and stuff like that just
Yeah.
make the movie even better. And then the other 2, I mean, the extended cuts make them better, but so my kids have never seen the theatrical cuts of the movie.
Okay.
So there's no way I'm gonna
Yeah.
like why would I show them an inferior product?
Right.
But I would tell you, it's definitely interesting because since you've only seen the theatrical cut, when you go back and you watch the extended cut, if you ever do, oh yeah, I don't remember this. Oh yeah, because it's extended, right?
Okay.
So it's definitely worth a watch
Yeah.
because there are some things that happen in those movies where, again, because I'm a movie guy, like stuff happened. I'm like, why did that happen? And then the extended cut, you're like, oh
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
just why did they cut that? I don't know, but
Yeah.
they did. For an example, in I don't know how well you remember, but in Return of the King, it was right after the 2 Towers where the trees attack Saruman. So at the beginning of Return of the King, they're like, "Oh, look, there's Saruman. What is it?" And then they do like this wide shot of all them on their horses, and you hear someone say, I think it was Gandalf. He goes, "And there he'll stay." Right, and that's the last time we see Saruman, like ever in Return of the King. Well, in the extended cut, stuff happens. Like there's a
okay.
whole sequence that happens where they try to get Saruman. I'm not going to spoil anything just in case if you do watch it, but like they try to get Saruman on their side. Saruman,
wow.
you've been in the camp with the enemy. Why don't you come down
Yeah.
there? And he's like, no. And then just stuff happens. And yeah, it was definitely an interesting take because we did this thing called Trilogy Tuesday. So when Return of the King premiered, like in theaters, they did this thing called Trilogy Tuesday where you could watch the extended cut of the first one and the second one, and then it would end. You got an hour in between each movie, and then you got to see Return of the King before
wow.
anybody else.
Oh, that's cool.
Like 2 hours before anybody
Yeah.
else. So it was. That's how much
Neat.
I'm into the Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings.
Does everybody
right?
dress up and stuff?
There were people that were dressed up, not me. I told you, not. I mean, I guess there's fat hobbits, so I could have dressed as like Samwise,
Yeah.
but no, I'm not gonna dress up unless I don't know, unless it is Samwise. Maybe I'll dress up as Samwise. Here's a proud papa moment. Elise last week was watching some TV show, and Sean Astin, who is the guy that played Samwise, he was on the show. And I was walking past and she's like, Dad, look, it's Samwise.
Aw.
And when she said that, my brain was just somewhere else. And I was like, what did you just say? She's like, it's Samwise. And I was like, Samwise. And then I looked on and I saw Sean. I said, I was like, come here. Come give Dad hugs. Come get Dad
That's
hugs.
cute.
But, okay, so.
No, I do love, like, I would say I probably like fantasy, world more than superhero world. If
Yeah.
I was going to choose, but.
Well, I mean, we also have two really huge franchises that are on the home team as far as Christianity goes. You have C.S. Lewis who did
Yeah.
Narnia, and then
Yes,
you
I
have
love Narnia.
and then you have Tolkien who did Lord of the Rings.
I'm
So
a little nervous about the Netflix Narnia series that's coming out.
I wouldn't even
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
because the lady that is in charge of direction, she's not somebody we want. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
There are so many things that are going on right now when it comes to movies. I'm like, why in the world are they doing this?
Yeah.
Like,
Haven't they started wising up, though? Isn't it getting better? Or no?
it is getting better
Yeah.
for sure, but like there are relics out there where they were greenlit during kind of like the woke era that are still out there.
Yeah.
And one of them is I grew up. Let's see, is there a He-Man over here? No, there's not. So like I don't know if you remember the cartoon He-Man.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was a huge He-Man fan. So there's like a He-Man movie that's in the
Okay.
process of being made now, and it was greenlit like 2 years ago, and like the movie should be about He-Man. Like it should be about He-Man
Yeah.
and Eternia and the great fight of all that, but the movie is about Adam.
girl?
No. It probably will be. Tila will be about the. No, they did that in the cartoon about 2 years ago, but no, He-Man crashes on Earth, or Adam crashes on Earth when he's like a kid, and he loses the Sword of Power. So like he's on Earth for like I think 10 years before they find him, and they need to bring him back to Eternia, but they don't know where his sword is. Like that's not a He-Man movie. Like
Yeah.
it should be the origin of him running around
Right.
doing something. But yeah, but what? Oh yeah. Well, she said she knew who He-Man was. Yeah, as soon as she said she knew who He-Man was,
I
He-Man.
don't know that I would have known that was He-Man, though. Like, I remember, no, I mean, the haircut. Yes, I get that.
the original. Woo.
Yeah.
But as far as Narnia goes, yeah, I don't. It's the same thing with Lord of the Rings. Like
Yeah, I heard all those stuff.
Christy and I
tried.
tried to watch The Rings of Power, and they made it's an ensemble cast, but the main character is Galadriel, right? And they made her this boss person, very unlikable. So
Yeah.
what's her name? Kate Blanchett. Phenomenal job. Even in the Hobbit movies, she did a
Right.
phenomenal job as this character, and they just made her so unlikable. There were so many characters that should have been likable in this show, and I'm like, I don't like any of these people. I like
yeah.
Elrond. The guy that played Elrond was really good.
Yeah.
But everybody else, I'm like, oh, we didn't even watch season 2.
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring that up is Amazon paid a lot of money to make this show. They paid the Tolkien family a lot of money so that way they can make this show,
Yeah.
and then they alienate the fan base. So Netflix has paid whoever owns C.S. Lewis's stuff a lot of money to make these movies, and it's the same thing with Harry Potter. I don't know if you pay attention
the
to
new
that.
show that's coming out.
Yeah, so they've haven't learned their lesson.
Yeah.
Apparently, I guess the new thing is Voldemort's going to be a female.
Okay.
So even though someone told me, because I'm not like Christy loves Harry Potter, I watch the movies. So what she did is she would read the book. When she finished the book, we'd watch the movie. So she would read in the books, we'd just watch the movie. So that's
Yeah.
my only interaction with Harry Potter. and I guess Voldemort spelled backwards, or somebody's name spelled backwards
yeah.
is Voldemort, or something like that. So, like, if you change Voldemort's name to like a female
Tom
name,
Riddle. Yeah, how do
yeah,
you make it a girl name?
so they would have to
So
figure
they're
out.
taking that whole thing out?
I guess so.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the season. I don't think the show will make it that long.
Yeah.
Right? Because
because the like you said, the fan base.
you've already. You know,
They did such a good job with the movies, sticking
Yeah.
to the books. Yeah.
Well, the first huge big departure was Snape, right? So he's described in the book as, I guess, a pale white dude, and they cast a black guy as Snape. So that
Right.
was the first big thing, and then
Yeah.
I forget what else they did. They did something else, and then this newest one with Voldemort potentially being female. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Back to what I was saying, like, why would you pay all this money
Right.
for all these IPs and then just,
Yeah.
all right.
I know. That's like the new Snow White movie, too. It
Oh,
got a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
flack.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I ADHD'd us off into movies. So let me pull
Okay,
us
no, that's
back.
okay.
Let's pull us back to your
That's
story
okay.
real quick.
No, my husband is very much like that. So we talk about all these things.
Yeah.
He has a lot stronger opinions than I do.
Him and I, we need to be,
I
we need
know.
to become friends.
Yeah, y'all do.
But-
and my brother, well, he's kind of my brother-in-law, my sister's fiance.
Mm-hmm.
He makes movies and is very, very into movies, just like my husband is, and has a giant collection of like actual movie props and things. So
Oh, nice.
you should just have him on your show. Actually.
Yeah, hook me
Y'all
up
could
because
talk
like if
forever.
if he makes movies, I got a few movies like
Right.
like my thing I wanted to do before I knocked out my high school girlfriend was I wanted to be a writer director. So
Oh,
I've
cool.
written probably about 6 or 7 fully
Wow.
feature films, like
Yeah.
from 1 to 90. I think the longest one I wrote was like I think it was like 120 pages, but
Okay.
like most
I don't
of
know
them,
what a normal screenplay length would
so
be, but
it's generally like a minute a page. So when
Okay.
so a screenplay
Okay.
that's 90
Yeah.
pages is 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but yeah, none of those movies I'm proud of. I would
Yeah.
never let anybody know anything about them because I was back during my rebellious days. So yeah, that's all
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to say about that. But going back to, I didn't want to lose this. So you go see Blair Witch. He proposes in the parking lot,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and then like you go home together,
Yep.
holding hands, and like mom, dad,
Yep.
you can't keep us apart.
exactly what happened.
Really?
Yep.
How did they react to that?
My mom said, "Go show your father,"
And
and we did.
Oh,
and
okay.
he was just like, "Okay." That was pretty much. But yeah.
what did his parents say?
I mean, they all were begging us to wait,
Mm-hmm.
longer to get married. We pretty much only had one adult give us positive feedback, and that was one of my teachers. And I think she probably got married young, and her advice was, if you grow in the same direction while you're growing up, then you're going to be okay. Like you're growing up together, and it'll be okay. We're like, okay, I'm running with that,
See, mom, this person
Yeah,
knows what they're talking
right.
about. So
Right.
so y'all get engaged, and you said y'all were married by 18. So does that mean
Mm-hmm.
that y'all were graduated by then?
We graduated first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got married. Since he joined the Air Force right away, we went ahead and did the courthouse wedding thing.
Okay.
In December after we graduated, so that we could live together on base and
That makes
be
sense, yeah.
married. And you get extra money when you're married,
Yeah,
So that was an
yeah.
incentive. And then we had a wedding in April, so we didn't tell like extended family that we were married already. We just went off to the Air Force together, and then had our wedding in April, and then
May I ask
Yeah.
what day in April?
13th.
Okay, because we're 30th.
Yes. Okay.
So
yeah.
that's
But
kinda
what's funny
cool.
is our real anniversary is in December, and I can't ever remember the day. I don't know if it's the 20th or the 21st, and I always have to ask him. I'm like, which one is it? I don't know.
So out of you and him, he's the only one that does he remember the dates?
Yes.
Is it, okay.
And I don't. I still don't remember
for-
which one it is.
For me, like there was always like this thing about guys, like we could never remember
Right.
dates. So
Yeah.
like I wanted to make sure I was the guy that remembered dates. So like if you ask me Chrissy's birthday, it's October 11th, right? Kids' birthdays, I know
Oh,
all
happy
of them.
belated birthday.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah, so ultimately, like I've forced myself to know all of these important dates in my head, so that way I
Yes.
don't have to
You don't
be
fall
the
in
guy
that
to
stereotype.
be. Yeah, so when I do ask someone, especially guys, I'm like, yeah, how long you been married? I'm like, that was the stupidest question to ask because then you put them on the spot.
Right, yeah.
But one of the things with us is Dexter was born on the 28th of April, Elise the 22nd of April,
wow.
and our anniversary is the
Yeah.
30th. So like all my important dates are all wrapped around
That's
here. My oldest son, he was born May 20th, so
Okay.
like within 30-day circle, like all of
That's
the
an
important dates.
expensive time for y'all.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. And he's getting married Saturday.
Oh,
And he kind of did
wow.
the same. Okay, I don't want to compare because y'all were much more proficient, but he's doing something similar to what y'all did. Is him and his girlfriend wanted to move in together.
Okay.
So let me rephrase it. They were already engaged.
Uh-huh.
So they wanted to move into a one-bedroom apartment together. So they got married, right? We went to their church, and it was just me and whatever. So Saturday is like the celebratory
Okay, like the
wedding.
reception kind of.
No,
or-
they're going through the
Yeah,
entire
yeah, we
rigmarole.
did too, and it felt very fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny about that is last time he was here, he was kind of pacing a little bit. And he's like, I'm so nervous. I'm like, what are you nervous about? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, you're already married. Like, you've been
Right.
married for like 3 months now. Like, what are you worried that she's going to say no on the altar? Because it's too late.
Yeah.
You're already together. But no, it's just, he's dramatic like that. But it was just funny. But so when, how fast did he join the military after high school?
He had already signed up. Let's see. I want to say he had already signed up, like, with the recruiter in, like,
So whether y'all were,
November, but then he couldn't leave until there was, like, a waiting period. But maybe that was after we had already graduated. So I guess I guess it was November of that following, like, after we
Okay.
graduated. He enlisted, and then it was,
so before y'all
shortly after
got, and I know this is a long time ago, so you may not remember exactly what y'all talked about, but when y'all were starting to get serious, he was like, hey, I'm joining the Air Force, and
yeah,
so
his
that was,
parents bribed him to join the Air Force.
Oh,
They
okay.
said, we will buy you a brand new car if you join the Air Force. And he was like,
I'm
yes.
not buying you a new car. I'm not doing that.
So he did. And I almost joined too. I went through, like, the meeting with the recruiter and everything, and watched the video about basic training. And that was when I was like, nope, that is
gonna
not
do
for
that.
me. And none of the jobs on the list sounded like me either. And I'm like, no, this is
Yeah, that's one of the
not my
things
thing.
I learned a lot because my oldest son, he was kind of flailing there for a little bit, like not really knowing. So him and I went to a recruiter, and we had a really awesome recruiter that was like, hey, if there's a job on here on the list that you like, you're going to put it down. He goes, but if you just join, he's like, they're going to turn you into
Going to be an
mil-
MP or
MP. Exactly. That's exactly what he said. So
Yeah.
he's like, if you really want to join, then you pick a job, you put that down, and you don't sign anything until that job opens up.
Yeah.
But military wasn't for him.
Right.
But ultimately, yeah. So your guy, I guess, told you the same thing. Like, if you just sign up just to go with the military police,
Yeah. Yeah.
because my whole deal with my kids joining, if they do decide to join, is I want them to take a job that will benefit them afterwards. So military police won't benefit
Right.
anybody for the
Yeah.
most part, unless they just want to be a police officer
Yeah.
after they get out.
Yeah.
But
Or security guard or something.
yeah, so did your parents and your husband get along, or was there some tension at all there?
So they were, I grew up in a home that didn't really talk about things. Like, they
Oh.
just kind of swept everything under the rug. Like, I
Yeah.
never really knew if anybody was upset. Like, it was just
Well,
all happy time
yeah.
all the time. And so they didn't really, they would kind of have talks with us, like, we really wish y'all would wait. And, but it was very much just kind of leaving it up to us, not like, there was never like a, foot coming down or the hammer coming down saying, we're not going to let you guys do this or whatever. But come to find out later, like, I just recently found out that they ended up going to counseling, and, like, I really hurt them. And I did not know that until recently. Like, I knew that, they wanted us to wait, but I didn't know it was as deep of a hurt for them until recently. So that was sad to hear that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but of course they got.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, they were.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the wedding and everything. Like, I never would have known, that they were that hurt. So
So my mom, there's 2 times my mom stopped talking to me, very briefly. Like one was 24 hours, and the other one was 48 hours.
Okay.
Whenever I proposed to my oldest son's biological mother, I just did it.
Yeah.
I did it. I mean, it was planned out, but like I didn't tell anybody, and she felt betrayed, so she didn't talk to me. So I get how your parents had that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And then, of course, whenever my dad, my parents' favorite place to go in the world is Tyler, Texas.
okay.
So I told my dad that Jackie was pregnant, and he's like, "Don't tell your mom."
Oh,
He's like, I'll take her to Tyler, and then on the way back, I'll tell her.
okay.
So like they were gone for the weekend, and like I was 18 at the time, so I was in the house. I knew that they were going to be gone until Sunday night. So like I was, you put the out of sight, out of mind thing.
Right.
So had a great weekend, right? And then all of a sudden it's Sunday night. Sweat, 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 and then like the garage door activates. I'm like, oh no, they're home. And then like my mom doesn't even look at me. She just
Aw.
walks into
Yeah.
the way it was. They had to walk outside of the garage into the front door and then the hallway to their room. That's exactly what she did, and she just shut the door. And my dad looked at me. He said, "Give her time."
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. So I get it. And as of right now, oh,
Elise, it is
Alexa,
time for you to go to bed.
stop.
Dexter, go to your room until 9 p.m.
Alexa.
Go to bed.
Stop. That always happens during the podcast. So it's just a matter of when it does. But so far, Brett hasn't done anything to do anything. I don't think Dexter will. Elise, though,
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna.
She's gonna be your loose
No,
cannon.
no. She's too sweet. She's too much like her mom in that sort of direction. But as far as the military goes, I guess we kind of already touched on that from that point. So you get out and you come back to the DFW area, and at that time you have just one, or do you have both kids at the time?
We didn't have our daughter until 2009,
Okay.
so it was like we'd already been back for about a year or so before we had her. So,
Okay.
yeah,
And then you said right after her, the son came along?
4 years later. Actually.
Oh, 4 years later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
When y'all were blessed with the surprise, because you said y'all were having trouble doing it, so never in your mind did you think that another child would come?
Yeah,
or?
no, I had kind of, given up maybe having a second one. Like because I had 3 miscarriages before Madeline, and then we had another miscarriage after Madeline. So I kind of just gave it to God. I'm like, okay, if we only have one, like I would love for her to have a sibling, but
Yeah.
if that's not in the plan, then okay. And then we got pregnant again, and I was actually angry when I got pregnant because I was thinking like, I don't want to go through that again. Like I thought,
Yeah.
unfortunately that was what I thought was going to happen again. And, but then it didn't. And we had our son. So we got to have a boy and a girl, and, now we're done. So.
Unless God has
Right,
plays
unless
unless
God
God
has
plays
other
the biggest
plans.
joke ever.
Right, yeah.
There's a girl that I work with that she thought that I'm not trying to
No,
curse
it's
you or anything
okay.
like that, but like she thought that her and her husband was done, and she literally just had a baby like
Yeah.
last week. And what was funny is she's in Houston and I'm here, and we would type over the teams, and I was like, when she told me she was pregnant, I was like, oh, congratulations. She's like, it's a blessing from God, but this is not something that we wanted.
Yeah.
And she was like, and so, because her daughter is, I think, the same age as Dexter, and then her son, I think, is like 1 year younger than Elise.
Okay.
So they're kind of same kind
Been
of.
independent for a while.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, now she's starting all over, but I can't fault her because if you look at the time frame, we got a 25-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
The Elise is definitely a godsend blessing, and I say that because we thought, or let me phrase that, Christy thought that Dexter was probably going to be the only one, and I went to the doctor to get the snip, and insurance rejected it.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of insurance rejecting it?
I mean,
No, right?
Yeah.
It's
that's cheaper than
it's
another
yeah,
pregnancy.
it's right. It's normally
Yeah.
it's normally just a go-to thing, right? My goal was to go in there, just have them be like, okay, we can get it done, schedule it. Go in there. He said everything's good to go. Let's schedule it. And then like 2 or 3 days later, I get a phone call like, hey, insurance rejected. It's going to cost blah blah blah. Blah. I
Yeah.
don't remember. It's a lot. I was like, what in the world? I was like, why did insurance reject it? She's like, we submitted like 2 or 3 times. They rejected it. So
Wow.
I was like, why would they reject it? So I was like, God, what's going on here? And I kid you not, I wouldn't say it's verbal because I'm not that kind of person, but God told me she wants another kid. So she was laying in the bed, and I was like, hey, question. She was like, what? I was like, do you want another kid? And she was like, why would you ask me that? It's like, just answer the question. She's like, yes.
Aw.
And then Elise.
Yeah. Aw,
And then
that's
Elise.
cool.
And it was, yeah, it was wild because I wasn't expecting to have another one because Dexter was well, I forget how old he was. They're 6 years apart?
Yeah, I was supposed
So,
Okay,
so he
yeah.
was 6. So, Brett was 15 or whatever at the time. So it's like, we're in the back end now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like but yeah.
But
I
she
would,
got a girl.
yes, that was one thing that was, so she was the first girl in like 2 or 3 generations of my family.
Wow, yeah.
So the only person in my family to have a girl was my dad's sister. So
Okay.
all of his brothers all had boys, and they all
Wow.
had 2 boys. And here I come along, I have 2 boys, and then now I break it.
princess.
I break it. And my brother had 2 girls.
Okay.
He had 2
Okay.
girls, and because when we found out that she was a girl, I text my dad and my brother, and my brother just kept giving me a hard time, being like, "Pink party, pink party." I'm like, "That's rude." And then when Zion came along, I was like, "Oh, looks like it's your turn for a pink party." And then, what is his other kid's name?
to.
Vera. Yeah, when Vera came along.
Oh, those are cool names.
Yeah, when Vera came along, it was, we're having another girl. I'm like, "Oh, double pink party, brother."
That's funny.
But yeah, so so I like to talk about like the miracles of God, especially because of situations like you
Yeah.
told us about. So like, the fact that y'all prayed and y'all tried, and then we're blessed over it.
Yeah.
Those are encouraging stories that
Yeah.
people need to hear. So I appreciate you sharing that, because those are pretty personal.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, well, I really feel like we had to get through a lot of stuff in our marriage,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm glad we didn't have kids yet until we had worked through a lot of stuff. And then also with tithing, like, we had been, not, I wouldn't say fighting it. Like, I was taught, like I said, I grew up in, well, I did say I grew up in church. So I was just taught from an early age, tithing was just part of what you do. And my husband was kind of on a journey with it because he did not grow up in a Christian home. And his heart just wasn't quite ready to like let go and like just trust God. And it was like when he finally made that, like this is what he would tell you this too, like whenever he finally let go and trusted in God for providing for us, that's when we got pregnant with her.
yeah.
So it was almost like, just, we had to just let go and have control of everything. And then that's when we, God like opened the blessings. Not saying that, is everybody's situation, but
Yeah.
for us, that may be,
Yeah,
something that we were holding on to that we didn't.
we both
Yeah.
of us, it sounds like we kind of did something similar, where when we first got married, we were like gripping to the money,
Yeah.
and things kept popping up. So like, sure, we weren't tithing to the church we were going to, but God was still getting that money, not to the church, but like dishwasher would go bad.
Right.
So, stuff like that. Where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, we're having a lot of weird things happening here. We need to figure out what's going on. And once we started tithing, it just, we don't worry about money
Yeah.
anymore. We're also both not too crazy with our money. Like, we don't really have credit cards. This house we bought 20 years ago. We're still in the same house
Yeah.
so we closed in, I think, March. No, it was April 1st. We closed on March 30th, and then we moved in. She moved in from her parents, and I moved in from my parents after the honeymoon.
Yeah.
And we've been here ever since. So we've
Yeah,
just
that's
been
awesome.
chilling.
Yeah.
And I think it all revolves around just adhering to things that God commands us to
Yeah.
do. And there's a big push online of tithing isn't what we should be doing.
Yeah, we've just kind of run into some of that. Like even Billy Graham has like this whole
Really?
like, sermon on it, which we were surprised about. And he talks about, he feels like it's being legalistic with like the 10% thing, and that only certain people were commanded to do that and all of this. But we're like, I don't know. For us, it's fine. Like
Yeah, the thing is
we're just going to keep tracking with what we're doing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, so if somebody's trying to say that Malachi is Old Testament, we shouldn't be doing that, or some people say that you should tithe over 10% because it's supposed to be a sacrifice, I'm like,
Right.
okay, here's my thought. If you think that you shouldn't tithe, do that.
Yep, you do you.
You do that.
Right.
Me, I'm going to do this because the way that I look at it is whenever I get into a conversation, which I've gotten into a few conversations about it, I'm like, if everybody stopped tithing, at least here in America, the churches would die.
Right.
So like, how can they operate
Yeah.
in our current westernized Christianity, right? There's other churches that are in other places that operate without a salary and everything like that. But the way everything's set up here is
Yeah.
money has to be involved. So, like if your pastor can't get paid, then he's not going to show up to the hospital because he's going to be working.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So like when your ears are falling off and you're in the hospital and you're about to have surgery or something like that, and your pastor is working a 9 to 5 because nobody tithes, it's like you're going to be like, okay, well,
Yeah.
what's the purpose of them supposed to be there? Exactly. So that's my thought process: is if nobody tithes, then
Yeah.
the church dies, at least in America.
Right. There needs to be, funds to make it all happen.
Yeah. And the way I look at it is, like I've always gone to small churches. I've never gone to big. So like I can actually see to a degree. I'm not saying you can't in mega churches, but in smaller churches you can see the money in action.
Yeah.
So like when we give to the church, like if they misuse it, that's on them.
Right. Yeah. Like
So-
if you're just being obedient to God, and then kind of like when you give money to a homeless person,
Yeah.
you're just like, well, I hope they don't use it for drugs or whatever. But it's like I was obedient to God. I felt like I was supposed to give it to them, and then whatever they do with it is, that's on them. Like,
Right,
it's their
exactly.
own
I feel the same
decision.
way.
Yeah.
So when,
Not that a homeless person is like the church, but you know what I mean.
they can be, they can be. They're talking to somebody in the sky.
Right.
They may not know who it is.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, the way I look at it, as far as tithing and everything like that, like, okay, we're gonna do that. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But like,
Right.
I don't want to. So like, the example is like, I don't want to take the blessing away from this house or my kids or anything like that. And so like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And if I get to heaven and God's like, you shouldn't have been
Right.
tithing.
Oh well, at least they have.
High
what
five,
they
I'm
needed.
here.
Yeah.
High five, I'm here.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. I don't have to worry about it again. So, one of the things that I'm looking forward to in heaven, okay, you've already got it down here, okay, you can sing and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to like a heavenly voice. To give you an example, one of the times that I sang was I went to, and I'll get back to heaven, of course, I ADHD'd, but I went to a prom with a girl and my best friend and his girlfriend. It was at Haltom High.
Okay.
Theirs, and then
They
after.
were our rivals.
Okay. So afterwards, they did this thing. I forget. It's called Celebration or something like that. It's where,
Yeah, we had that same thing.
right. So it was
Yeah.
for the kids that weren't going to do bad things after prom to go
yep.
to. So my best friend and I sang a song together because it was karaoke. Cleared out the room. Cleared out the room.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 99.
Okay.
So that would have been in 98. So
Okay.
I went with a girl from our youth group.
You went to Fossil Ridge?
Yeah.
Okay. I went to their prom with a friend. But
99?
it was it might have been 2000.
I was gone.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't look back.
I don't know if it was 99 or 2000. I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, well, so I was wanting to move to a specific area so that way he could go to Fossil Ridge,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course she would. But yeah, yeah, we did that, and we cleared the room out.
That's
and
funny.
the song that we sang, so like somebody had just like these two girls had just got in singing in phenomenal voices,
Mm-hmm.
probably you and your daughter singing, and then like there was people there, they were enjoying the music. Daniel and I get up there. We choose "My Heart Will Go On" by
yeah.
Celine Dion. We start singing, and then slowly but surely they all start walking out, except for Jacqueline and it was Daniel. I forget Daniel's girlfriend at the time. I think it was Melissa. But it was like like Jacqueline and Melissa were there. It was just them. It was just
That's
them and us
funny.
in the room, and we were like,
So supportive.
yeah. And it's like, well, we high fived each other and we're like, cleared the room, but then like, wait a minute, that's mental scars because I can't see.
You still remember.
I do, because it's one of those scars that, you know, I would give up that memory to remember his third birthday.
Yeah.
I would give up all the memories of all the movies I've seen to get all of the memories of, because like my memories, like I told you a memory from like 25, 26 years ago, but like I can't remember his birthday.
Yeah.
But if I pull up a picture, I can recall it through
Yeah.
that. But so you went to Fossil Ridge's prom?
Yeah, with a friend. Yeah.
Was it like a party thing, or was it
What do you mean?
like was it a bunch of people going together? Because you said you went with
No,
your friend.
just went with a friend who didn't have a date, and he asked me to go. So I just
Okay.
went.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many proms did you end up going to total?
Just that one and then mine. Yeah. And my husband and I went together senior year. so.
Nice. The reason why I ask is because Daniel went to the one that I did, then ours that we did, and then his girlfriend, now, which is now his wife, he went to hers. You know what? Y'all were probably there then. If you went to 2000, Daniel was at that prom.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so but he went to 3 proms.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's the record that I'm aware of, at least
Yeah.
in my world, is
So in
3
homeschool
proms.
world, have you heard about the homeschool prom? So it is this like, it is not like what our proms were like. It is this whole giant event, and like 9th through 12th graders can go, and it's like all of North Texas comes to this one, like all the homeschoolers. So they'll have, I'm not going to say the right number, I don't know, but thousands maybe
Of kids?
that come, and they like, it's at a hotel, and they have a theme that they go all out. Like the lobby area is all decorated for the whole theme. Not the lobby, but like you know how hotel ballrooms have like the big hallway around the outside.
Yeah.
So that's all decorated with the theme. And like they had Narnia one year, and they have like, you know, the hobbits walking around. Like they have the characters out there, which are the mom and dads that are volunteering, you know. But it is a blast because you buy your kids' ticket, and then you have to volunteer also. So I always volunteer as a character because, you know, I have a million
Right.
costumes, and it's fun.
You're Elsa every year.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's a
So
whole
thousands
monster of a prom.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you even keep track of all those kids?
Yeah, it's like a well-oiled machine. Like
Oh,
they've
is
got
it?
it. Yeah, it's an amazing feat. But
Because I think of all the trouble.
yeah, no, I mean they're good kids, and they've got
Well, I say
people
all the
that,
trouble I was going to
oh,
say that
yeah.
that I got into.
Right.
that
I mean,
would-
there's always going to be some of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have like people volunteering as security guard people too, and they guard the doors, make sure nobody leaves, and they make sure nobody goes upstairs to rooms, and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But yeah,
But thousands of kids in one place, that's kind of
Yeah,
wild. So
it's
every
crazy.
year, there's a different theme.
yeah. So
And is it, of course, not the name of the hotel, but is it always at the same hotel as well?
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's interesting. Do you want to go? He's a junior, so he'll be going to his prom
Okay.
next year, unless he
Cool.
finds an older woman, right?
Our prom was lame.
The first prom that I went to, it was with a girl that my mom forced me to go. Like she didn't have a date, and she's like,
Aw,
"Hey,
that's like a Napoleon Dynamite moment,
yeah." It really was because like
except for
it
reversed.
was a girl in our youth group, and she was a friend of mine, and my mom was like, "Hey, did you hear that Jacqueline doesn't have a date?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You're going." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "You're going to go to the prom with her," and because she had a crush on me, right? But anyways, so I said, "If I'm going, then you're paying for everything." And she did. My mom
Wow.
and my dad paid for everything. So like my suit, the
Yeah.
boutonniere, like everything.
Nice.
And I'll tell you that the prom at Haltom was so much better than the prom that I went to the following year for myself. Now, granted, I was with my girlfriend, a girl that I wanted to be with.
Yeah.
So that portion of it was fun as far as the way we danced and all that sort of stuff. But like Haltom's prom was so much better because like after the Fossil Ridge prom, there wasn't anything. So we were just out there. So
Yeah, go get in trouble. Yeah,
Yes.
Richland did the same thing. Richland had like this project celebration or whatever after, and they had like giant, big, bouncy obstacle courses, and they had casino night stuff, and they did prizes, and it was fun. We won our like first camping setup from that, and we had it for a long time.
question. What are your thoughts? I know it's been several years since they've done it, but they changed their name, didn't they?
Yes.
What is your thoughts on them changing their name?
I mean, when I was in elementary school, I remember when they changed the flag. Because
Okay.
it used to be like the actual Confederate flag.
Was it really?
Yes. Like when
Okay.
my mom went to school there, it was the Confederate
Okay.
flag. And then they changed it to the, what they had for a long time. And then, recently they changed to Royals instead of
Okay,
Rebels.
so the Royals instead
And
of
the
the Rebels.
a lion is now their mascot.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not there.
So Fossil Ridge Panthers was something I voted for because Fossil Ridge was the first high school they built out there
Okay.
outside of the original one. So I was at Fossil Hill, and since we were going to be the first freshman class in the school, they let us come up with the mascot and vote on it, and
That's cool.
I don't know what the theme of it's now, but it's like we got to vote on the colors,
Oh,
and then
nice.
it used to be, again, this is the part I don't know if it's still the same, but the logo used to be called "It's a Pride Thing."
Okay.
And like our coaches authorized us that if anybody was drawing on lockers, we were to beat them up because they were so prideful
Yeah.
about because
Wow.
the school was brand new, and a couple of the football players took them up on their
Yeah.
offer. Well, if you see somebody, you can beat them up and we'll get your back. Guess what? They didn't get their back.
Right? Yeah.
They didn't get their back, but we got to vote on that. So
That's cool.
it's Fossil Ridge Panthers, and then all of the schools surrounding Fossil Ridge, they all used to be Native American background because Keller.
Yep.
So they all changed their name to Cat stuff now.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, because I
Yeah.
think it was Fossil Hill. I think Braves, if I remember correctly, and then now it's I think the Wildcats. So like
Okay.
all of the ones.
Well,
that-
even like, I feel like even when I was a young adult, they still had some of the some of the Keller high schools still had
Well,
the Indian names.
I think anything around Keller, the original one, I think is still all Indian stuff.
okay.
But like it's like I couldn't tell you the mascot of Central, the mascot of
Yeah, I
I think
don't know
Timber
either.
or whatever. There's another one. I think there's 5 high schools now.
That's
Couldn't tell-
crazy. Yeah.
Couldn't tell you the
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I know like all the Birdville ones just because that's where we
Just-
grew up. But
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't tell you the main reason why I wanted to move because it was for one, it was closer to the church, but also I wanted to go in the inside to see what Fossil Ridge. Not that I have any sort of nostalgic for it, but like just to see what it looked like, to see if maybe they changed up the tile or the flooring or something. Because Fossil Ridge is, if you can envision this, it's like 2 big long hallways.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
Oh wow. Okay.
So like there's the area that's over here where you have like the choir, theater, and all of the athletics, and then when you first walk in, there's a lunchroom, and then there's like 2 long hallways.
Okay.
It's really weird setup.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of windows because Keller looked like a prison. So, but we got you through
Yes.
it. We got you
Thank
through
you.
it. We got you through it. So tell me the name of the business and the website one more time.
Okay, so it's royallyfunparties.com. And yeah, we do all kinds of different entertainment. Like we even do mystery parties too. Like we're, like a murder mystery party, but it's more kid friendly. Like,
you
somebody
had me until
stole.
you had me until you said kid friendly.
I mean, we can host adult ones too, but like somebody stole some Cinderella's slipper, and then all the kids have to kind of like talk to each other and figure out who it is. Just stuff like that. We have all different kinds of party entertainment things that we do. So. Yeah, but all with the heart of, just helping the kids feel special, and the inner beauty is what makes you beautiful on the outside. And yeah.
Awesome. And everything can be booked online. So just go to the website, check her out. It's in DFW. So if you're in the DFW area, you can book through that. And she's an awesome woman of God. She sings. She's got a phenomenal family. She sings way better than I do. So, so last question. In the superhero side, do y'all have Batman?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
He is probably
Sure.
like the next
Okay.
most popular
Okay.
compared to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, Spider-Man. I think he's got a better publicist than Batman. Okay, that's the reason why you think that. But yeah, as you can tell, big Batman fan. My favorite Batman is Affleck Batman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the newest one, right? Or no?
No, he
Okay,
retired.
maybe I have seen him as Batman then.
He was the one.
I'm telling you, I'm not.
He was the Batman where him and Superman fought each other.
Oh, then yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was Ben Affleck
Sorry,
Batman.
I'm just.
and I just give people a hard time because I know that most of the time, like if you look at the first, because I use that question at the beginning to kind of, especially people that haven't done a podcast, use
Yeah.
that to break the ice, right? So most people don't care about that. Yeah, I'm like Affleck's the best because he's the best comic portrayal version ever.
Okay.
He really is. But then they're like it's Ben Affleck. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? But that's funny that they do have Batman. I think that's awesome. I would
Oh, yeah,
assume that
for sure.
yeah. So when you said yes, I would assume that he would probably be in top 5 as far as
Yeah,
popularity.
easily.
But yeah, Melissa, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we truly don't know each other, and we've gotten to
Yeah,
know each other.
no,
Now
that was
I know some of your backstory. So now when I go up to your husband, I'll be like, hey, what was your thoughts on like Lord of the Rings? Or, you know,
Yeah,
just come up there.
Braveheart is his all-time favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, Braveheart. I just showed Dexter
Okay,
Braveheart.
he cannot wait to watch it with the kids. Like Madeline could handle it probably.
So, you know, there's one spot where there's nudity. So, like, what I did was, like, I've seen the movie so many times. I know exactly when it's, plus it's, anyways, when I knew that scene was coming up, I made him just go around the corner, and then I kind of did
Yeah.
the fast forward to, because it's not a very long scene. But then once that scene was over with, I mean, the rest of it's just gore. Like,
Right.
there's nothing in
Yeah.
that movie other than just gore. And so, yes, I love Braveheart.
Yeah.
I have a phenomenal story that I will make very quickly for
Okay,
you.
that's fine.
So my friends and I'm a tiny bit older than you. So you kind of grew up in the your mama era. Do you remember those jokes?
Yes, yep.
So there's a story between all of us because I hang out with the same people. I'm blessed to have the same friends
That's
I
awesome.
did in high school. We were in a text group. So we went over to my friend Dave's house and we were watching Braveheart. And for whatever reason, throughout the entire movie, we were just like, anytime somebody would say something in the movie, like, oh yeah, you know, you threw a rock at your mom, right? You know, it's just it was all about like attacking Dave's mom,
Yeah.
right? Dave's mom was watching the movie with us, and about 3/4 of the way through the movie, she stands up, she goes, "I am sick and tired and of you talking about me right here. I'm sitting right here." So there's this hilarious memory of us turning around and just being like, it's Dave's mom, right? It's not you,
Right.
but like this fictional Dave's mom. And then once she got it, she started laughing. And then toward the end of the movie, she's like, Dave's mom got beheaded. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the stories I have with Braveheart. But Braveheart's his
That's
favorite
funny.
movie?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I love the movie so much. I had like the DVD, I think the Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
I own the digital copy, and then I actually purchased because I'm a big movie score person. So I actually
Okay,
own
yeah.
the score. So the bagpipe theme is just I can hear it and it takes me straight to the movie.
Right.
So, but yeah,
That's why I like Tangled. I think the soundtrack's really good.
yeah. So soundtrack is the songs, right? That has words and everything in it with the.
Oh, well, just the back, like the whole track of the
So
whole
you
movie.
like
I like
the score
too.
and
Yeah.
the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There are some soundtracks out there that I enjoy, like Dazed and Confused has one of the greatest soundtracks ever
Yeah.
because I love 70s rock. But anyways, so I don't want to hold you up any longer. So yeah, next time I see your husband, I'll be like, so do we need to throw rocks at each other? And just watch him be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Or I'll come up with something with Braveheart. I'll be
Oh
like,
yeah, he will get it. I'm sure.
yeah, or because I used to do, I haven't done his accent in a really long time, The Irishman. The Irishman that's in
Yes.
the movie, Stephen, and I used to do his accent pretty good because we were stupid back then.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll go up there and be like, yeah, I'm crazy, something like that. But thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah.
I hope
thank
you had fun.
Yeah, it was great.
And we got to know each other, so we're not fully strangers, right?
Right.
Because I know you sang with my wife a few times,
Yes, yeah.
but like you and I have never really interacted. So now I know things about you and your husband,
Yep.
so I can be like, okay,
Yep. You
let's
know
go
the whole
see him.
story now.
Yeah. So when Braveheart comes back in the theaters, I'll text him and be like, hey, let's
Oh
go see
yeah, he
Braveheart
would
together.
totally be down for that, for sure.
All right. Well, with that being said, like, subscribe, share. If you're living in the DFW area and you want to come on the show, message me. The link to her website's going to be below. So this has been Aaron Ask America. Thanks for watching.
Aaron Ask America, we're talking real life. Truth, love, and struggle, no filters, no hype. From the heart of the people to the soul of the land, he's asking the questions you'll understand. Aaron Ask America.